Got it?
All right. I think we are live, William.
Oh, awesome. Awesome. Well, happy holidays and happy New Year's to everyone. And what a wonderful, wonderful start of 2023.
Yes. And William, on your most recent podcast that came out on January 1st, you highlighted that be who you want to be in 2023.
Yeah.
And can you share why you chose that in relation to this coming up year, why you chose that to be your theme, the theme of the podcast?
Yeah, most definitely. So number one, be who you want to be in 2023. So let's all for a minute. Let's take a breath. Let's take a breath. Let's decompress. Let's really come into within and through yourself right here, right now, to the only thing that is real, which is right here, right now. As you're sitting here looking around you, as you're sitting here with your costumes, let's take a breath. Let's decompress. And now, let's really come. And now, as we do so, let's go ahead and do our best to be clear that last year, this morning, last night, the night before, none of that's real anymore. Tomorrow is not real anymore. So let's just take another breath. Let's just ask ourselves, who is it? What is it? What is it that I would love to emanate? What is it that I would love to do? What is it that really I would love to convey as a being, as creator, as a being in this body on this planet? What is it I would love to offer, express? What is it now, right here, right now, in this moment, at this marker? Would I love to emanate brilliantly and animate? You're no longer the daughter of, the son of, the mother of, the brother of, on and on and on. You're not the child of. So right now we're stepping way out of all the genetics. We're stepping out of all the past patterning. We're stepping out of all realms of identities. No assumptions. No things that we should live of, got to do, must do, have to do, on and on and on. Just right here, right now. Let's not take any labels on, not even as facilitator, not even as an energy worker. Let's skip all that kit and caboodle. Who is it? What is it? Right here, right now, that you would love to convey through your body on this planet as the beautiful light beingness that you are, as right here, right now, clear light beingness, clear light bodies. So right now, can you feel how within yourself right now, your body self, your mental self, the emotional selves, and all these branch offs, whom and what is it, just right here, right this moment, that really has you pick up your body, get out of bed in the morning, no longer in a rat race, no longer on a roller coaster. And it's pretty fun as we're standing here as a clear slate for a moment. We're not being ran around. We're not being hijacked by any thought forms. We're not being ran around. We're not being hijacked by any colorful shadows or past behavioral mannerisms or past identities. Now, as you ask yourself, what is it that I would love to share? What is it I would love to convey as creator expressing through Carne? It's kind of funny because I can say I'm an artist, I'm a this, I'm a that. No, you're not. I'm a plumber. No, you're not. Those are things you do. It's not who you are. I'm a facilitator, energy work. Okay, great. I'm the head of the light groups and light whatever. Well, okay, let's all just take a breath. Nope. That's all the stuff that you do. So now, who do you want to be? What would you love to offer? Not as a box, but as a brilliant, radiant master of love in your own right, master of light. And now, without that whole tabloid of definitions, it's only you and you alone that can decide, do you want to play victim? Do you want to play victimizer? Do you want to play martyr? Or do you want to play the one tossed out on their ear? Or do you just want to emanate that brilliant presence of light? Love, it's all one and the same. Love is light, light is love, God is love is God, and whatever words and labels we want to put on things. And now, do you want to be a success? Do you want to be a failure? Do you want to be blah, blah, blah? Let's go ahead and just take our consciousness right through your heart. I personally say you're already a success because you got out of bed this morning. You've already won today. Now it's just all the unfoldments to have fun with. So what's it like, Mr. Michael, to have no boxes, no barriers, no bounds, no labels?
Well, that's freeing. And one of the questions that came up as you were speaking is, how do we handle any fears of success that come up when we're opening this much and receiving ideas?
Number one, everyone has a different definition of success. Society has one. Probably humanity all around beyond society has one. And it's odd, right? How so much comes to how much abundance in paper that you make each day, what pay grade you're in, what toys you have, so be it and so forth. But let's all wash our hands of that for a moment. Now let's welcome in the rest of yourself as a success. And what does that feel like for you? Being a success. It's not about what you do. It's how you feel.
Right.
The rest, paper money, jewels, friends, camaraderie, relationship, all of that will take care of itself. But right here, right now, what does it mean to you? Now, for some that are struggling physically, great. Getting out of bed is a major success. For others that are feeling very, very down within themselves, okay, great. Let's do something different to where you can feel everything from taking a breath to accomplishment. Anything. It doesn't matter. You don't have to go, rescue Rome or something. They're not hurting anyways. Right now, what does it feel like for you just to succeed? This is the part that's often missed, and it's where the ego really takes you for a ride. Where, okay, well, if I have this much money in the bank, then I can feel safe. If I have that much more money in the bank, then I can feel important or equal. Then more and more, now I can feel important. Now I can feel successful. Now I can blah, blah, blah. What about if we just do it right now?
Right.
Being a success because you are a success. Now, when I look at this, it's not just a frame of mind per se. Because I really want to break this down, Michael, to where how it shifts and changes. The energy, the consciousness, the light beingness within and through yourself, through your body, that you're expanding throughout the exponential world. Now, this goes to If you're female and you're wanting to have an intimate, loving relationship with the heart, great. Why don't we try on the shoes of welcoming in our divine feminine? It's an energy. Males, females, everyone has it. And then if it's a male wishing for the same thing, great. Let's welcome in our divine male. It has nothing to do with what you can lift and how many dear ones you can bench press and rape, pillage, plunder, and all that fun stuff. It just has to do with your angelic beingness, your archangelic beingness. I mean, Sananda was a great example in a lot of ways of what it's like to have a male structure, but not buying into the male ego.
Right.
Now, everyone has a divine feminine, a divine masculine. Now, I have to say, out of fairness, yeah, in all reality, all literality, as creator incarnate, you outgrow both. It doesn't mean you deny it. It just means you outgrow it. So it just doesn't have, like, it's not weighted down to, be a definition of yourself anymore.
Great. Okay, we have a few other questions coming in, William.
Oh, bring it on.
I'm currently at a really potent place with lots of people.
A really what place, Michael?
Potent.
Okay.
With lots of people. I think this is. Okay, yeah. With lots of people releasing and opening. How can I assist them further with this?
The best way you can assist them is to remind them. And very importantly, remind them that what they're experiencing right now is nothing new. That it's all this stuff that's been anchored into the body, the fascia, the atoms, sometimes even the human genome, genetics, the master cell of the body, so be it and so forth. The fascia, the ligaments, the tendons, the organs. That all this stuff is coming up, and where I would remind them, hey, you know what? This is nothing new. This is all this stuff coming up for you. It's all this stuff that's kept you from fully being able to emanate, integrate, express, and experience and explore your real self. Now, I would also remind them there are quadrillions of ways to get to the same place. So we can call it detoxing, we can call it letting go, on and on and on. But it really comes to show, what are you really detoxing? Your body may have the sniffles, your body may be coughing up stuff, your body may be sweating profusely, it may be going through this, going through that. And let's just take a breath. How blessed we are that we're not the body. How blessed we are we're not the mind. How blessed we are that all these magnetic structures that have, created so much crustacean on each and every cell, each and every molecule, atom, subatom, all the way through the human genome. Yeah, how blessed we are that now you're coming in, and if you can tune into it with me, you're lighting each and every cell up. You're turning on the light switch within yourself, consciously, subconsciously, through the soul level, on and on. You're saying, hey man, you know what? Been there, done that, wore the t-shirt, goodbye, goodbye, goodbye. You're turning on the light switch throughout your whole body and all of your consciousness to where there's no tainted speck, there's no tainted part, there's no part of you within the body, through the body, or any particle of yourself, even from the through the Akashic record realms, through the soul level, on and on and on. It's no longer holding the weight, holding you down, confining you, defining you, and holding you hostage. Now it's where we take a breath. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye. All right, body, I'm welcoming more of myself in now. Because part of all this other stuff is just getting rid of the clutter that's been clogged in the mind, body, and aura in the system, that's been clogged, been blocked up, that's been stagnated. And to simplify it in simple terms, it's all the places that you have not been in your mind, body, in your aura. So hallelujah that we're letting all of the stuff come up and come out. And I would have them start contemplating, first becoming present. Okay, it is what it is now. Secondly, I wonder what it's going to be like after all this clutter, anything and everything that's kept me separated from myself is gone.
Mm.
There's going to be like to no longer have voices going on over my shoulder, in my head, and the angel and the devil and all this other stuff, where we're opening up, we're emanating, accelerating, and expanding. And what's it going to be like when we have no polarities, no dualities?
Our next question, William, is several high-level masters are saying the next few years are going to be very bad for humanity.
Okay.
How do you feel about 2023 and the next few years to come?
Honestly speaking, it matters how, it really comes to how you look at it. I would say, literally, things are looking up. They're looking better and better and better. I would say the next few years are just going to be more and more enjoyable. The next few years are going to become more and more amplified, more and more matter of fact, more and more, even with, the energy moving, the consciousness arising, the mass collective collapsing, all these old archaic systems that have been so entrenched for millennia on this planet becoming brought to a head, resolved and dissolved. And then moving into a much higher state of consciousness, a much higher alignment of yourself, which in turn is making more room, more accessibility to yourself and for yourself. And then we get into even enjoying the manifestational world more and more, because we start watching, you have a contemplation of a thought, and then automatically you have a manifestation coming into your life stream. And I would say it's even getting better and better. It's also assisting you better and better, which is one of the reasons why we're doing the Relevance of the Now podcast anyways, is because the now is the only place that anything exists. Now, secondly, the relevance of the now is bringing you right up into yourself, through yourself, to where now you're not getting sucked to the left, to the right, hijacked over here, hijacked over there, preoccupied over there, blah, blah, blah. And kind of like being a fish, hook, line, and sinker, being pulled all over the place due to the mass collective consciousness, due to the latest and greatest, the ones that are, so difficultly and challengingly trying so hard to hold on to an old energy, hold on to fear. Like even with that comment, and I have great compassion for these masters of whatever they're mastering, but I have great compassion because, it reminds me of Nostradamus, who saw massive world wars, explosions, the end of humanity, and on and on and on. Even with the Mayan calendar that saw the end of humanity, on and on. And far be it from me to say that they were incorrect at that time. Yeah, that's exactly where things were heading. But something happened, which is you came to the party. You woke up to avoid out back in 87, the asteroid belt called Merva hitting the planet. And because the consciousness was such a degree, magnetically, we're steered another direction. So I have great compassion for these dear ones, and I really, let's play a game with it for yourself. Don't believe me. Feel it out for yourself. Then, as you follow these beautiful divine masters in their own right, I really want you, one hand, both hand, all your toes, and otherwise, let's do the math on how many of these dear ones become ill. Let's do the math. Not that we wish it, but it's interesting, right? Because when we do the math, I've heard so many of these soothsayers say all of this funky stuff, and I'm still waiting for my lottery ticket that's gonna show up in my lap when I wake up one day, and all this stuff, And one told me that I'm supposed to go down to Australia and swim with the sharks, and I was like, "Tell you what, you go first. Let me know how it works out," And it's kind of humorous, but this is a great discernment for you. A very black and white discernment, no middle ground. Are you feeling the love or are you feeling the fear? Are you becoming afraid of yourself in the whole universe? Or are you opening up, honoring all these dear ones with great love, honor, passion, and compassion with where they're at on their own journeys? But then it's interesting, right? To go beyond it all, to fully step into your own divinity, stepping into your own shoes. Now, when I look at it as well, I ask for yourself to ask yourself, what is it that I'm wanting? What is it that I would enjoy? Yeah, there's earthquakes, tsunamis, sinkholes, and mountains growing, volcanoes erupting, and on and on. But far be it from me to say that's catastrophic. Wouldn't you say universally, if you took your consciousness beyond your physical all the way to the sun and just sitting there at the sun, turning around and looking at planet Earth, you would see such a beautiful opening, reactivating, shining star with all of the old clutter, old debris breaking down and collapsing right before you. Now it's up to you on a personal level. What are you wanting to support? It's kind of funny. I played these games, like, let's all say for a minute there was no media. Let's say there was no YouTube in it. There was no, MySpace or any of these other things. Let's say the internet was totally gone, dissolved. And let's just say even the mail system, snail mail included, it was all burned up and collapsed. The game I look at here it makes me ask myself, how many dear ones would have actually contracted COVID? And it's an interesting game. It's flu season and everyone's getting the flu, blah, blah, blah. Let's just say for a moment, no one knew what anyone else was doing. Can you imagine how healthy, whole, and complete? Because it comes back to the master saying it's going to be hard over the next few years, blah, 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 which goes into a lot of martyrdom and sacrifice. But, great love to the dear ones. Namaste, have a blast. But now, it brings us to a state where, what if you never heard that? What if there was no doom and gloomers? What if everyone was just emanating that light beingness that they are? Would there really be tough times? You got to remember, if you're going to look at it in this way, let's look at it as a whole, as we're looking back at this planet, this star from the sun, of how much light is lighting up, how many grids are becoming reactivated, how many platelets are shifting around. And then you look at the areas where there's all these metaphoric catastrophes rather than quantum leaps, because I would call it definitely a quantum leap in the denser pockets of the planet is going through all this hurrah. Even in India, they're going through all their hurrahs, but remember, they're supposed to be the spiritual ones. Well, that old paradigmal spirituality and giving your power away to another is also in that pocket collapsing. It all comes back to you arising, even vibratorily, as creator, integrator, integrating, emanating, and amplifying through creation.
Fabulous, Will. There is a question on, could you please tell us more about viruses, their consciousness, and how they interact with humans?
Okay, so let's take a virus. It doesn't matter what it is. It could be cancer, it could be influenza, it could be COVID, 19 to 48, whatever. Leukemia, on and on and on. So let's all just take a breath. Let's sit back And now let's put that virus out in front of you. Now, it's interesting because if we wrote the big word cancer up in the sky, dear ones are going to see it in the sky. Now we're going to go one or two directions. Dear ones are going to go into lockdown, shut down. They're going to go into fear. They're going to go into density. They're going to go into survival of the fittest. Now, I want you to take this to heart with me for a minute. Almost everyone knows someone that's had cancer of some sort, but kind of forgetting how many dear ones have the cancer of the mind, being that, mass collective consciousness now in viral thought forms. So right now, as we see that big word in the sky, let's all look at it for what it is. It's only a word. It's a representation of a word that was given to consciousness. Now, I really want you, once again, to check yourself, check your solar plexus. Is it twinging? Is it tight? Is it loose? Another deep sigh, relax. Now, it comes to what here am I going to empower? So now I see the word in the sky. Am I going to give it any sort of energy? Am I going to repel it so I attract it? Or am I just going to look at it as another C word? Virals, it's like a thought. One thought grows into another thought, to another thought, to another thought, to another thought, to another thought, until eventually you have a mass within your system. And it's a mass collective buildup with a lot of toxic sort of thought forms that create blockages in your system. Now, it's kind of ironic because when you start working with the mind, the emotion, the ego, how quick the body, because the body doesn't want it, you don't want it. So now we start addressing the real cause of all of it. Now, let's play a game with ourselves. I'm going to say something. And what's the first thought that arises for you afterwards? A pink Volkswagen with furry dice. And what's the first thing that came to mind, Michael?
Pink Volkswagen with furry dice.
What did yours look like?
Pink.
Okay.
Or you are talking about my dice, red.
And what color pink? Bright pink, hot pink?
It's a bright pink.
Okay, now if you followed this for a moment, look at how quick you went into creating that manifestation individually. My pink Volkswagen's hot pink. It has a siren. And it's playing ice cream music. Now, like for the ice cream truck. Now, look at how quick for yourself, automatically, you took the pink Volkswagen and claimed it as your own, even to the red dice, which is kind of a color clash, but hey, all right.
Yeah.
Now, but that's exactly what happens with cancer and virals.
Understand. Well, here's another question. Could you explain what it means to call back our soul fragments?
Yes. What that means, many are so identified to having a young soul, old soul, new soul, whatever. Now, let's go ahead and just take a breath. And let's welcome up the first incarnational, well, we'll call it past life for the level of understanding. Let's welcome forth our last past life that's made an impact on your current life, positively or negatively charged. Now, let's take the part of you that is still reliving that past incarnation. Let's welcome that part of you back to yourself now, cleared and purified. And now, you could actually start to feel it right between your heart and your solar plexus, a little bit to the left in your body. Now, let's now go to and welcome forth and welcome up. And I say up, it's not so much within you, it's more the multifaceted parts that surround you of where you've been in the life stream that led up to that life that we just called yourself back from. Let's welcome that that part of yourself, that soul fragmentation, back to yourself right here from right now, cleared and purified. Now, let's take those two life streams, those two soul fragmentations that you welcome back, cleared and purified. So now they're not split. Now they're not still hanging out in your past incarnational realms. Because the point is to bring all of yourself cleared and purified back to yourself right here, right now, because each and every soul fragmentation, each and every past incarnation, I don't care if you're the one that invented aspirin from herbology or whatever, or saved whoever, whatever, and played with Merlin, who cares? It doesn't matter. It's still you being polarized and split off from where you're and who you are now. So we're welcoming back all those fragmentations so we can be fully, completely wide awake, fully alert, integrated and amplified now, because now is all you got. Now you're welcoming all these scattered parts of yourself that have created all these colorful action reactions, phobias, irrational fear, blah, blah, blah. Welcoming it all back here, cleared and purified to where now you're becoming fully, thoroughly integrated in this body on this planet as a wide awake, fully alert beingness that's no longer carrying that density.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, when we look at phobia, some are afraid to go swimming. Some are afraid of sharks. Some are afraid of snakes. Some are afraid of heights, being confined, on and on. Well, you're just not afraid for the sake of being afraid. Just welcome back those parts of yourself that have been being affected. That is what I mean, but that's still affecting your life stream now.
Right. And that was another question about getting rid of fears permanently.
Yeah.
And you're talking about how we can command it so.
Yeah. And I really want to delve deeper into that as well, such as right now, let's take the deepest, densest, scariest fear. Let's put it out in front of you. Now, as you do, we don't have to give it a name. We don't got to label it and blah, blah, blah. Let's just really put it out there. And then let's right now take another breath. Let's really feel you right now. Now, I want you to watch that fear. And right now, I want you to watch where the mind and the emotional egoic structure tries to go with that fear. I really want all of us to step back over here where we can see the fear, then we could see where the ego is trying to go with the fear, where the mind's trapped up with the fear, where the body's reacting to the fear. But right now, here we are as a third person, observing it all. To where now, within your own divinity, within your own mastery, now let's decide what you now would love to do about it, if anything. You're not the fear, you're not the thought, you're not the mind, you're not the emotion, you're not the body. This is you taking your power back, like at the very core of your being.
Right. And when you're talking about what we would love to do towards the beginning, and if any kind of fears from the body come up, it really is that opportunity to really look at how much you really want
Yeah.
what you love.
Well, it's not even so much wanting, it's more about receiving and letting yourself have it without all these bogus ego excuses why you can't.
Right. And it's just taking steps.
Well, and if I'm welcoming in a brand new house on and on, well, chances are I'm most likely going to call a realtor, or I'm going to go online, see what's available. Then what I'll do is I'll say, you know what, okay, beyond just another home, I would like this many rooms. I'd like, whatever, a swimming pool and fireplace, whatever. Then I'm going to hand it over again. Okay, big guns, take command. And I'm just going to quite literally, now that I'm starting to head that direction with the realtor on and on, now I'm literally welcoming the perfect place that I would enjoy. Now we can take that all the way to a great cup of coffee or driving to work. I mean, same thing applies with everything.
Wow. Thank you, William. Wonderful, wonderful. And thank you, everyone, for joining us with your wonderful questions today. We'll be back again early in February on William Linville YouTube live page. We wish you an amazing start to the year, amazing 2023. Namaste.
Namaste, and thank you. We'll talk to you soon.